Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Black on Black Cinema. I'm your host, Jay. I'm here with my co-host, Micah.
Hey.
And Terrence.
What's up?
All right, guys. We are back for episode 271, Sing Sing. This is the 2023 American drama film starring Coleman Domingo, Clarence Macklin, Sean San Jose, and Paul Racy. So the logline for this movie is Divine G, imprisoned at Sing Sing for a crime he did not commit, finds purpose by acting in a theater group alongside other incarcerated men in the story of resilience, humanity, and the transformative power of art. This is based on the real RTA program, which is the Rehabilitation Through Arts prison program that's started in Sing Sing in, I want to say 2006, or excuse me, 1996. And now is in 6 other men and women's maximum and medium security New York State prisons. I'll go to you first, Micah. What were your thoughts on this?
I thought the movie was pretty great. Normally there are some movies that use actors that are not traditional actors. And, because they want to get the real experience. I remember some Train movie used real people in it that weren't actors, and it was awful. But the inmates here, and I know they studied acting in this program, so that probably helped. But the inmates here, it was, I don't want to say powerful to see them, right? I don't want to sound pretentious, but it really, they brought a level of authenticity to the movie. And it was nice to see, real tough dudes, real hard men, right? Being vulnerable and being human. Yeah. And everybody has this, not everybody, a lot of people have this view of criminals or people in jail or prison, that they're rapists, taking jobs and, eating cats or whatever. And a lot of these people, they're human beings, you're not supposed to judge somebody on their worst day. But we do it, and we confine them. And look, I don't have an answer for that, but that's another conversation. But this movie shows the humanity in these people, and it shows that men can have emotions that aren't just fuck bitches, get money,
and anger,
right? Right, and just fucking rage,
right?
Yeah, I thought it was great. This movie is not for everybody, right? This movie is not one of these movies that you're gonna, this is kind of there's a lot of theater in this movie. It kind of feels like I went to a theater to watch this, like a live stage performance to watch this. It feels like that. I thought it was great. Coleman Domingo is one of those actors that,
of course,
right? He's one of those actors that can elevate material. And while I don't think this material is bad, it is better because he is in it. And yeah, man, give this man all the awards. Give him all the awards. Yeah. Love this guy, man. I love it.
Terrence,
yeah, this is great. Yeah, I watched it yesterday. It's great. Like you said, Coleman Domingo was a great actor. I did appreciate, because I'm looking at it and I didn't look up the IMDb or anything like that. I'm like, are these the real guys that were in? And it turns out, yeah, they were. They were good. Again, they were in the theater program, so they had some acting chops. That dude, the I guess the second lead, you would call him, Clarence Macklin. He's very good.
Yeah, no, he was excellent. Actually,
he was really good. He's playing himself in the movie. And one thing I noticed about the movie is it takes place in prison, and like every other prison movie, right? It's just dark and just because prison is fucking dark and gloomy and just fucked up. This movie, they're in Sing Sing, but like every scene, there's like natural light coming through the windows. Most prisons, there's just concrete enclosed spaces. They don't have any, like they're not doing anything. And I found that kind of not weird, but I found it kind of interesting that they decided to make it look like it's prison, but like it's not super dreary because they're doing this particular thing to like get out there. Because you in prison, you're gonna be mad. There are going to be days like where you might get fucking killed, like where you might get attacked and things like that. So you have to get away from the just the stress and everything. And I appreciate the fact that they did that. Yeah, it's just great. He's awesome in it. The story, I mean, it's his life. Had a happy ending, I guess. All these people are out of prison, by the way, I believe. And yeah, I just really liked it. I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Cool. Yeah, look, I'll echo what you're both saying. Like, I thought it was fantastic. Coleman Domingo couldn't make a bad movie if he fucking tried. That's what it appears to me.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen him in a bad movie, honestly. Everything that I've seen him in. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I haven't seen him in anything bad.
I mean, dude played an insane pimp in a movie based on a series of
Twitter.
tweets. And he fucking nailed it. like he's just really good. Anything he does, I'm gonna watch. And at this point, anything he does with anything even remotely involving A24, I'm gonna watch because all of it is good. Micah, you said that you felt like the movie, it felt like a play, right? Like as you're watching this. Well, it's based on something called the Sing Sing Follies, which is basically the story, right? Like the write up for it is at Sing Sing, the infamous Gothic maximum security prison. Some of the incarcerated pass their time and slay inner demons performing theater. In this case, a silly slapstick comedy about pirates, gladiators, yada yada yada. Like it is quite literally, it's like a play within a play kind of thing, right? All of the performances I thought were really good. I thought the arcs of the two main characters, having them sort of crisscross, was a really super interesting way of playing it. I like that we didn't get moments of violence and stuff like that. Like that's not what this movie needs, right? Where
we know what goes on in prison. Yeah,
right. Like I don't need to see like these horrendous things. Like this movie is clearly focused on the humanity and trying to bring that out. They don't need to then be like last time on Oz and then just fucking somebody gets stabbed 1,000 times, right? Like we got it. So I did appreciate that. Again, Coleman Domingo is great. This other guy, Clarence Macklin, is fucking awesome. Paul Raci, I don't know if did either one of you. I'm pretty sure Terrence, you saw Sound of Metal. You saw that one?
Yeah, I saw it.
You saw it.
Yeah,
okay.
I saw it.
Which if you haven't seen Sound of Metal, you should see it. Like it's very similar in kind of tone as this movie, which is about a man who was like a drummer for a metal band, and he's slowly he goes deaf, right? And so then he's also like a recovering addict at the same time, and Paul Raci is in that. He plays a guy running a group of for like alcoholics or Narcotics Anonymous. That are all the people are deaf, right? Which is a wildly very specific thing. But they need a certain, a different way of dealing with it, right? Like than people who are.
So they're basically playing a character very similar to this one.
Yeah, he does. Like,
okay.
He does. And that's what I'm saying. Like the tone of the movie they feel very similar, right? But Sound of Metal, just as a side note, is also excellent. So this is, I just thought, like, to Micah's point, like, we often do see people who are convicts as just not even members of society, right? Like, they just don't count, even when they get out, we treat them, lower than low. And it's nice to have this sort of reminder that these guys are human beings. They are people too. There's a scene we'll talk about, obviously, where there's a moment where something is about to pop off. And then you got like the one big dude is like, this is why we're in here, to deal with all of this shit. And he's like kind of explains his background and why he's so different than he was before. And I'm like, this dude's not acting. Like, I don't know if that story is real, but it fucking feels real that you're telling.
It probably was.
It probably was, right?
Like it probably was real.
And so I appreciated the mixture of sort of conventional acting with these guys who learn to act in prison, and it works. Like, you really can't tell a lot of space between them in a lot of ways. And this story is I think really phenomenal. I hope it gets
really like three mainstays. There was really only like 3 actors in this movie.
Yeah, everybody else is
Coleman Domingo, Sean San Jose, who plays Mike, and Paul Racy. Everybody else, even Clarence Macklin, he's not an actor. He was in this theater. He was in this theater troupe. And again, his performance was fucking great.
Yeah, like,
especially to be like second lead. I was like, wow, okay.
Yeah, it was impressive as hell. So, all right, let's get into it. So the movie opens with a sort of a moment of Coleman Domingo's character, Divine G. He's giving a soliloquy from Hamlet, I believe, or was it King Lear? I can't remember, but and so I think it's actually King Lear. So it's their last play, or they're finishing up, I guess, the last night of their big play, and they do one, I guess, every 6 months. I think that's what they were saying. Yeah. And they're all pretty happy, and life is good, right? And it's cool because you see them backstage. They're taking off their costumes. They're all excited. They got these big cheers and standing ovations and all this, and then you slowly see it kind of morph back into this idea that these dudes are in jail. Like, this is not some local theater troupe, because they're all putting their uniforms back on, and they all got to line up and be marched back into their different blocks in the prison. And, you get the reality of like guards kind of harassing them and stuff like that. So you're kind of jolted into like, just so you're aware, yes, for real, you're in fucking prison. And you see Divine G, he's like writing plays himself, and he's been locked up for quite some time, since the 80s. And the movie does a really good job of letting you enjoy what you're seeing, but also not forget the environment in which you're seeing it, right? Because you see Divine G, they do some sort of security call, and everybody's got to lay down, because if you don't, you'll get shot, right? And then you just find yourself sort of back in this world. Then we see Divine G. He's sitting at like eating lunch or whatever at the mess hall, and somebody comes up to him and he's like, "Hey man, I was trying to get to talk to you while you were in the yard, but like, can you sign this for me?" And it's a playbill, right? And I'm immediately very skeptical of this person because it's jail, and I'm like,
is this nigga about to get stabbed?
Right, like
I need to see this right now.
Right, I'm like, we are 5.5 minutes in. Like, he seems like such a nice guy. Please don't hurt him. But the guy was actually genuine, and he enjoyed the play that he did at another prison so much that he wanted him to sign it. Like, he's this like celebrity. Which
says a lot about how we're programmed.
Yeah.
Right. That all of us immediately thought the worst of this guy.
This dude's smiling a little too much. Like, why you all happy and shit? Like, stand over there. Like, no thanks. But yeah, no, the dude was like totally genuine.
And he's the real Divine G.
Oh, that guy is.
Yeah, he's the real Divine G. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
That was his cameo.
Oh, nice. Okay, I didn't know that.
Also, it was a little self-indulgent there. Like, oh my God, can I get your autograph? Because you're amazing. Like, all right.
You don't want to sign it? Okay, I will, I guess. That's really funny. Like, Divine G, nigga, your name rings out. Like, wait, what?
Like, your name rings bells in these streets. Like, no, they don't. Okay.
Sure, you don't need to ad-lib this scene. I'm just saying, I was dumb shit. So then we
world-renowned playwright. Like, what?
World-renowned
talking about? They calm down, yo. Like, all right.
It's Divine G and Shakespeare, right next to each other.
I get it, bro. You happy, you proud, and I love it. I love it for you. But like, You need some friends to tell you to shut the fuck up.
Nah, you can't write your own story. Like that's not how this works. Antoine Fisher shit. So then we see the sort of the core group, the steering committee of the RTA program, Divine G and Mike and a number of other guys, and they're basically they're talking about like bringing on new actors, right, new prisoners to join the team, right, and they're like, all right, cool, and they run through a couple of names, and people are like, and Divine I is one of the guys, and they're like, the other dudes are like, nah, nah, he ain't it. Like, he makes women uncomfortable and shit like that. They were just like, nah, this is not a good idea. And so Divine G and Mike are like, look, let's go meet with the dude, see what's up, right? Like, see why he signed up for the program. And so they go see him, and the second they walk up to him, he's like, you know what? Oh shit, son, like, I got something to do. And he walks away from them, and he immediately walks over to this white dude who clearly is like fresh in jail. And he's like, all right, you got my shit that I let you hold. And the guy's like, yeah, here it is, sir. And he punks him. It was like, nah, this ain't the shit I gave you. Like, this is just aspirin, which it was originally aspirin, I'm sure. And and so he's like, nah, you owe me $500. He's like, I can't get $500. He's like, no, you're going to get me my $500. And he's being like super intimidating to the point where I'm like, nigga, you better pay this dude $500 or you're going to get stabbed. Like, it doesn't feel worth it. And this is the first time you meet Divine I. And like, everything about this dude is like, oh, this nigga was in prison for real. Like, like, he is not acting.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, he ain't need a script. He was like, don't even worry about it. Is that the white boy you want me to yell at?
I got it.
Got it. Like, no problem. Like, sir, that's an intern. He'll work. Don't worry. Yeah, I was like, I think this white boy about to get his ass beat. Like, shit felt real. And then he walks back over after intimidating that guy. He walks back over to Divine G and Mike, and he's like, they're like, yeah, why'd you sign up for the RTA program? And he's like, yeah, like, why does it matter? Basically, like, who the fuck cares? Like, yeah, I signed up. I'm a little interested in this shit. And he just he's just a dick. Like, he's just a dick to them for no reason. Because he doesn't really want to be vulnerable with them, but also he signed up for this program because he's interested in it, which, lends to a level of vulnerability. But this is like, to me, is sort of the crux of being a guy in the modern world, right? Like, oh, I like this thing. And they're like, nigga, that's gay. You're like, yeah, you're right, it's gay. But I still kind of still want to do that. So you gotta kind of keep it low if you're interested in this thing that is not seen as, mainstream tough guy shit or whatever, right? So, so he kind of blows him off. But before he does, he was like, yeah, he recites some verse from like King Lear or some shit. And they're like, oh, like, all right, he trying to be a tough guy, but like, this nigga really knows this shit. Like, what the fuck is going on here? So they're like, all right, we're going to bring him in.
What did Divine G say? He's like, oh, so that book just kind of fell in your lap? Really, nigga? He's like, you just happened to pick that book up and that was the passage you went to? Okay. All right, whatever, dog. Sure.
Whatever you need to tell you. It's fine. So then back at the RTA sort of office, we meet Brent, who is Paul Racy, and he runs the program, right? And you kind of meet the other guys in the program, and he has them do these kind of drills of like walking around, and tells them like, all right, act like you're excited today, or act like you're, whatever. It's to kind of loosen them up. And so you're meeting all of these characters, and also Divine I shows up as well. So he's kind of there, standing in the background. What's hilarious is there's a dude with like a full on face tattoo, like just like straight up all the way across his face. I was like, that guy should be a Viking and everything. Like, I think that's just kind of that guy's lot in life. So they're trying to discuss now with the group, like what type of what's the next play they want to do, and they're like West Side Story, Wizard of Oz, some more Shakespeare. Divine G suggests August Wilson. And and then everybody's like, all right, well, Divine G, you have we know you write plays. Like, how about why don't we do one of yours? He's like, all right, I got this one, and it's like real. It's like a heavy drama, and Divine Eye basically interrupts. He was like, yeah, why don't we do a comedy? Like, life sucks in here, not to disrespect, but our life sucks. Why the fuck do we want to keep doing a bunch of plays that are about how life sucks? So everybody's like, oh shit, a comedy. We don't have any, but maybe we can write one, because they're all adding in a bunch of shit. They're like, it needs to have pirates in it, and Freddy Krueger and
time travel.
Time travel. What the fuck are y'all talking about?
Okay.
What the hell movie?
And Divine G is like, nigga, what? No, y'all are bugging. Knock it off. What do we? And yeah, what's his name? He writes it.
Yeah, Brent.
Like, all right,
yeah, Brent writes it in a weekend. 147 page play.
Yeah, Tyler Perry's that shit.
Yeah,
it worked.
I mean, yeah. Look, and I don't think he had access to ChatGPT like Tyler Perry does, so he had to make this shit up for real. We see Divine G and Mike. Their cells are right across from each other, so they talk to each other constantly, and they're very, very close friends. That will become incredibly important later. So Divine G is kind of annoyed that they're doing this comedy. He's a bit annoyed because he's like, this new dude came in and just changed all the shit, right? Like, we were gonna do my play, and because he kind of runs the shit, right? So, not in an arrogant way, but they all lean on him because he's clearly the best actor, because Coleman Domingo, and he's he's a playwright and everything else. So he has all of this heavy duty talent, and he's also a really smart dude. But now everything has gotten thrown upside down. Brent comes back from the weekend, drops his play on these guys again. It was 147 pages, and he tells them look through it, read through it, and find the characters you connect with. And you see all these guys start auditioning for the roles. And there is one soliloquy, a very famous one from Hamlet, and Divine G obviously goes out for that. And as he's walking out, they're like, oh, okay, you need to close the door because there's somebody auditioning for the Hamlet role as well. And he's like, the fuck? How? And it's Divine Eye. He goes in there and he gets it. He gets the role over Divine G. And at that point you're like, why though? Why?
Because you know why? Because it's a fucking comedy. That's why. You're not gonna hire this dramatic ass dude to be in this dramatic ass role. No. You're gonna hire fucking this guy that can't do it to the level of because it's a comedy, right? It's a styles clash.
Yeah. Well, turns out maybe not that much of a styles clash. He delivers the fuck out of that line later in the movie. So yeah, they just start kind of working through it, and everybody is just trying to find their space in it. Divine Eye he does not like. They really should have gone with different names. He really does not like Divine G because he's kind of trying to mentor people, and he's so much better of an actor. He tries to help all the other guys out, but I is he's not used to being kind of told what to do, and that is very clear. And so he doesn't like being told what to do in any fucking aspect. So yeah, I get it. And then when it comes time for him to actually get up on stage or whatever, he's kind of embarrassed, and he doesn't want to read his part, and so he just is like, nah, fuck this, and just walks off. Have either one of you been in a play before?
I mean,
in third grade
in school, yeah,
I was a tree.
That makes sense.
It was a play. It was a play about nigga. It was a play about It was a play about climate change back in like 1992, dog.
Yeah, see, nobody listened.
Yeah.
Terrence was trying to tell y'all.
Yeah.
I'm a tree. I'm
I was
dying. Stop
a
throwing
dying
trash
tree.
people around.
And I was singing some song called "Killing the Ozone."
You wanna do a little ditty for us there?
Rather not. No.
All right.
I'm like Divine Eye. Fuck you. No.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever been in a play. Not even as a little kid. I don't think so. It's probably for the best, if I'm being honest.
You would not be able to do it, bro. You would not be able to do it.
No.
I believe in you, right? I believe in you.
Why?
But but not when it comes to acting. Like it just isn't.
No.
Like
no, that is not my thing. Acting like a fool, maybe my mom would say I could do that. But otherwise, no, I don't see it.
It's like most people and it's not just you, right? Like it's most people, right? Like you ever try to take a picture of someone and they don't know what to do? It's like like, yo, just smile.
Yeah, I've learned I have to just start laughing.
No, I'm
get
terrible
the best smile.
Yeah, I'm terrible.
Like if you got a smile, I'll just start laughing, and you get the best smile out of me when I laugh. So
yeah.
But that took me 40 years to figure that shit out.
well, teach it to my wife, because my wife has a big, beautiful smile, but and she loves taking pictures of herself but it whenever I tell her like, hey, all right, I'm about to take a picture of you, it's always like.
I'm not good at it either. I'm not good at it. My daughter is fucking terrible at it. Like, no, don't put me on the spot. Because I don't know how to do that. I'm just like, I don't know how.
Again, like it took me a very long time. Yeah, but I finally got it.
I'd rather just hit me with
it's just a kind of laugh.
Yeah, it's hit me with a candid shot. Like if you catch me, like
surprise. Yeah, you got to surprise people, man. You got to surprise people.
You always get better. You always get better photos of people when they don't know they're being photographed. 100%.
Yeah,
natural.
Because you think about it too much, and it's like, oh shit, am I showing too much gum?
The answer is yes.
Right? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Yuck. I hate it. Don't ever ask me to smile. I'm like Donald Trump. I don't laugh.
My problem is I don't think I would be able to remember lines. How the fuck did I be remembering lines like that?
I have no idea. Well,
my mind.
I've had to do some public speaking where I've had to recite something, but I have to do it in my own language until I can change it around so I don't get fucking stuck. But to do it exactly as it is would be probably relatively hard for me.
Yeah.
Because I'm not that bright. And also I have a terrible memory. So at this point, the guys they're in Divine G and Divine I are they're in the mess hall, and he basically is like, look, man, he's like, look, let me holler at you for like a second. And he's like, look, man, I know you think these exercises are goofy, but this shit means a lot to people. And basically, Divine Eye is like, fuck you, dude. Like, yeah, I got a knife in my pocket or whatever. It's like, don't bring me in these dark corners. The nigga gets nervous. Like, he don't like none of that shit. Which at the same time, I'm like, I get it, because you making me nervous by how aggressive you're talking right now. Like, this is a problem. But he's like, look, I don't like you. Basically, I don't like your fucking style. Don't fucking tell me shit. Like, fuck off. And Divine G pushes back. He's like, look, this program is all these people fucking got. Like, if you just gonna shit on it and denigrate it, like, you're not helping them and you're not helping yourself. That's the crux of their argument is, I don't trust you and I don't like your ass. So it's like, all right, these niggas don't fuck with each other. And they just have very different personalities at this point in the movie. And so they see, you see Divine Eye does not show up later on. He just fucking bails. Then we see these guys like the next day they're doing some exercises and just kind of running through what their like special place is, right? Because they're trying to get to like what is the happy moments in your mind and stuff like that, right? As a training acting exercise. And then one dude was like, "Yeah, my parents used to send me down to Baltimore." I was like, "Damn, they ain't like you at all. That's fucked up."
God damn. Your happy place?
When he said that, I burst out.
It depends on when. How old is this guy? When did this take place?
I think he was from Philadelphia, so then again, like I do understand. Like that's a lot better.
I mean, that's it. But
out of the frying pan into the other frying pan. So you get this idea, and this is just another moment of them being vulnerable. We have this whole idea of them being vulnerable and talking about like their special place, Baltimore, for some reason, in a harbor, I guess. And I mean, what are your thoughts on that? Like, are we as a society not given enough space as men, and especially as men of color? Because the vast majority of guys here are Black or Latin.
Yeah.
Do you think it's getting better? Does it feel stagnant? Are men a part of the problem? Are we not? Is it women?
Yes, on all accounts, except for the women. This is not a woman issue. This is an us issue. And I'll hear you. I'll hear you out.
Okay.
A little bit of
but I'm not gonna single out women. I will include them in the collective of society that kind of instills a certain image of what manhood is.
Sure.
And because of that, niggas got to be super stoic all the time, and like you're not allowed to be weak. You got to protect, but you got to make all the money. But you got to like. But I don't know. I don't know what I don't know what you want. What do y'all want?
Like, what do you want from me?
What do you want from me? Right? People say they want
that nigga for crying. No,
people right?
Yeah, that is kind of fucked
up. You see what I'm saying?
That's it. That's it.
Yeah, that is kind of fucked up.
Literally it.
I mean, in fairness, like that shit was kind of funny because that nigga's hilarious, whether he means to be or not. But yeah, we do. Like, it's funny because that's our defense mechanism, right? Like, if the feelings are getting too heavy, like, all right, nigga, this is some gay shit. Like that is our like weird defense mechanism, especially if you grew up in the '90s like we did. I think it's getting better with younger guys.
Yeah, it is.
But there's still a long way to go.
It's everybody, like you said. Like I said, a lot of women, I'm not singling out women, but women will tell you, hey, you can be vulnerable around me, but then like if something happens,
they'll throw that shit.
The possibility they might throw that shit right in your fucking face. I'm like, but you just all right, well.
Yeah, a lot of guys are afraid.
That's the last time I do that shit. That's super fucked up. Like I joke and say, like, I ain't no bitch, I ain't crying, nothing like that. I say that shit all the time. But like again, I watched The Wild Robot. I've seen it twice. That's a fucking heart. That's a touching ass movie. Yeah, it is.
Did you cry?
It really is, man. I love that goddamn movie.
Did you cry?
Shed a tear too.
All right.
Maybe. Mind your business, nigga.
We can't help it. We can't help it.
Look. That's how I was raised. It is.
No, but I'm eating an onion sub watching The Wild Robot, guy.
Right. It's just the way I was raised. So, but like I'm getting better at it. But yeah, it's society. Like they just don't let us show the wide range of emotions that we actually are supposed to have to be fucking, normal human beings.
Right. I mean,
everybody's very complex.
I think it does real damage to us too.
Yeah,
I might
psychologically.
Yes,
I might get myself into some trouble.
All right,
go for it. I don't think so, but my father always told me, look, and I tell this to my son. I said, look, It's okay
Yeah,
to cry.
I know what you're about to say. Just don't let
It's
them
okay
see
to
it.
cry. Just don't let nobody see you do it. Right? I tell them, look, if you want to cry, you can go in your room and cry. Come back down. Once you compose yourself, we'll talk about it. If you really want to, if you can come talk to me, you can cry in front of me. Don't cry in front of your mother if you can help it. And don't cry in front of other people. Right? Like, don't let them see you bleed. Because I know how people are. And it starts at this age. I know kids, his contemporaries, right, that he used to go to school with, to go to different schools, PG, that should tell you something, where they're getting in fights on the bus. Like, fights in kindergarten?
I got in a fight in kindergarten on the bus.
But
We
that's
both
you.
got kicked off.
Right. But like, that doesn't surprise me at all, right? That doesn't surprise me
It was this
at
fat
all.
kid, yeah. He was fucking with me. Yeah. Like, I remember, like, my memory sucks, but there's some shit that I was in kindergarten, my nigga.
I mean, it
He's
was,
a kindergarten to
it was
first grade.
traumatic. It was traumatic.
And he told me to get out of the seat, and I said no, and then he punched me in the face, and I cried, and then I started swinging at him.
I got into a fight.
I
got into a fight in the first grade. A girl hit me, and I threw a chair at her and hit her in the back.
Jesus fucking
God damn, yo.
Was
that the start of MRAJ?
Man, yeah. Dude, at the time we were all
God.
and it was one of them like old school chairs, you know, like the seat is made of, I don't know, like ceramic and the fucking legs are metal or whatever.
Right. It didn't have the fucking desk attached to it.
No, it did not.
Yeah, you would have been able to throw that. You was too fucking small for that shit.
It was like the little small ones. I was strong enough for that shit. Look, that was the first and last time that happened. But look, I think it does box us in, right? Like, I think the idea of like, don't show no emotions, nigga. Like, that's not healthy. Like, it's not.
But why not in front of Michael? Why not in front of you and your wife? You know how people are outside, but why not in front of you?
I want him. It depends on what it is, right? Like, if he
falls down and like skins his knee, I'm like, relax.
Get up.
Right.
Get up. Just stand up. Just stand up. Right? Just stand up.
It's like Jay's daughter's a fucking gangster.
Nah,
right.
She's a Tasmanian devil. Love her to death, but she is all over the place.
She is.
She'll fall like, I'm good.
Oh, no. Crying from falling? No, nigga, that is not a thing.
Right. Whereas my son, he is very much like, I got a hangnail. Like, all right, yo. Just cut it out. And then we'll get into an argument. We'll get into a back and forth. And I'm like, look, if you're going to cry, go in your room and cry, compose yourself, and then come back downstairs. But if it's something,
it's because you mad. That's why you're like, get out of my face.
you need 30 seconds.
Yeah,
because you're getting mad at this nigga for crying because you grew up because your father said stop being a bitch or some shit.
Break the cycle,
Mike.
Break the cycle.
Stop being a bitch though. Stop being a bitch. Like if you're bleeding, fine. Right,
like blood.
But if he's having like an emotional like thing that he can't rationalize, then I'll pull him aside and I'll talk to him.
That's understandable.
But like all this like screaming at your mother and shit because she tell you to do something. No. Go somewhere. Go somewhere and figure it out.
Yeah,
and then come back down when you want to talk like a normal person.
Yep.
Get out of here.
Wow, you're using the exact language I use. Look, I do want to read a quote because I think it's important. That sort of pushes back on this whole idea of toxic masculinity. And I think both of you will appreciate this quote. It's okay for macho men to show every emotion available right now, because I've cried 1,000 times and I'm going to cry some more. But I've soared with the eagles and I've slithered with the snakes and everywhere in between. And I'm going to tell you something right now. There's no guarantees in life. there's one guarantee in life, and there is no guarantees. And understand this: nobody likes a quitter. Nobody said life was easy. So if you get knocked down, take the standing 8 count, get back up, fight again, and you're a macho maniac. Dig it. You never saw that?
I'm listening to this. Like,
I was like, where have I heard this before?
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah. That is Randy Macho Man Savage when he was in Video Hall. No, but that's a good quote, though, right? Like, life is hard. Like, I mean, you don't have to say dig at the end, but you know, that was his whole thing. Yeah, but I
snap into it.
Yes, thank you. But like his whole point of like, you are as a man, you should be able to show every aspect of emotion. Like, that's okay. It doesn't, like, men only show like happiness, like got some pussy, and anger, like didn't get some pussy. Like, there's more to life than that, right? Like you can have more.
Yeah.
And I think that's okay. Like there is that whole notion of like men should never cry or whatever. I fundamentally don't agree with that. I don't agree with I mean, I don't think you need to be, and this goes for anybody, you don't need to be a fucking blubbering mess about every fucking thing. That's just ridiculous. As adults, right? Kids or whatever. But I also think, you know, the idea, Mike is like, nah, I disagree. I'll cry, nigga. But at the same time, like, if you're, you know, a person of the world, like, you should be able to share in all of those emotions. I mean, I think that's part of the reason women are generally happier than men and they live longer, because, like, to that joke Bill Burr talks about, like, because we have to push everything down. If you even have the thought of like hugging a puppy or fucking having a dessert, and your friends just make fun of you until you fucking have a heart attack and die, right? And this is not good. And I think it's getting better, but I do see it's weird. There's like this push of traditional roles, right? Like there's a lot of that shit that's coming back as the world is moving forward. And I do see a lot of women pushing that, like, men need to be stoic and da 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 da. I'm like, you know why, like, your grandfather fucking like uppercutted your grandmother, right? Because of shit like that, because they were never allowed to show emotions, right? Like, that's where that shit comes from. You like, can't want a guy to be like open and like all this other stuff and be like, but don't you tell me nothing. Like, just go home.
It's like here's the thing: I can be open and honest and be like and have all of these feelings, but like, that doesn't make me weak. I can still throw you through a wall if I wanted to. Like, what are you talking about? That doesn't make me any weaker because I'm like showing actual emotion outside of anger. It's like, I'm still a man.
I'll fuck you up. Like, knock it off. Yeah,
like, now if we get into a situation, like, that's crazy. Like, if we get into a situation like where like I have to like quote unquote defend your honor, like, it depends on the situation. Like, I might have to be like, we just got to get the fuck out of here. I'm not getting in a fight with no big ass nigga because
I'm not fighting 3 dudes. How about that?
And I'm not like, if it's one guy, depending on how big he is, okay. But like more than one, I'm gonna just have to take that L, and then you're gonna have to look at me however you're gonna look at me. If that makes me less of a man, then fuck you. You know what I'm saying?
If I get into a fight with you dudes, I'm gonna be less of a man anyway. He's gonna stomp my ass.
You're gonna knock my teeth out.
If you're a woman and you instigating a fight and expect the guy to defend you, like to fight the other guy, like you got a problem, yo. Like,
you have a mental.
Call yourself an Uber.
I mean, you need to do some reflecting, because like you need to you might be one of them people that doesn't know what incivility means.
Yeah, right.
Like, it's
stay civil, man. Just stay civil. I hate you. So like my biggest. I'm glad you're getting a kick out of that.
I'm just here to make my friends laugh, folks. I don't care if you don't get these jokes. I don't care if you don't get these references. I'm here to make
There's a lot of inside jokes on these shows.
It's okay. I'm not mad. No, but like, I do think like there is a weird conversation that always takes place of like, I need somebody to defend my honor. What? How many fights are y'all getting into? I've literally never had. I've been with my wife for 15 years. I've never had somebody like slap my wife's ass in the mall, something like that. One, I would lose my fucking mind. Are you serious? That's never happened. That's never happened. Like, there's all these dudes coming up to your girlfriends. Like, who are these dudes? Who are these niggas? Like, we need to get away from these niggas. Like, get the fuck out. Like, when is this happening? Like, this idea, like, it's like a weird feudal Japan situation. Like, we're walking through a meadow and 9 ninjas come out here to defend my honor. This is not happening. You live in Detroit and you're just walking to the fucking 7-Eleven. Nothing is happening to you. You're fine. Like, I don't understand this whole idea. But look, you want someone to defend your honor? Good. I think that's fine. Could you just not instigate a fight? Like, please? Like, that's all I'm asking. Because I don't.
And in return for you not instigating a fight, I'll open your car door for you. How about that?
Fuck that. Walk around. Look.
No, you got hands. Don't instigate a fight.
Look. If you don't instigate a fight, I won't instigate a fight either. That's the best I can do for it. I won't just walk up to a couple of women and be like, "You ain't gonna do shit," and just like push them and be like, "My wife will handle your ass." No, I just
there was one time. It was a long time ago. I was driving somebody home, and it was a group of niggas at a 7-Eleven, and it was a lady friend. And I was driving her home, and yeah, they like, I got out the car, and we got out the car to go inside, and the guys were like being belligerent. Now, she wasn't like, we weren't dating or anything like that, but they were like, "That's you?" I'm like, yes, it is. And they're like, oh, all right. I'm like, why the fuck? First of all, that's wild disrespectful that you would ask me that question.
You even have to ask, right?
Like, what the fuck would you even, if it wasn't, what were you going to do? Like, come on now. And I was like, yes. And we walked in, and they were still sitting there when we came out. And yeah, it was weird. Some niggas don't really actually give a fuck. They will test you. So it does happen, but not as much. I don't think it happens as much as some of these niggas think that, like, or some of these women think it happens. Or maybe it does happen to women a lot. I don't know. I'm not a woman, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah, it just feels,
sometimes
it feels wild to me. Like, I hear people say that shit all the time. I need somebody to defend my honor. I'm like, who are all these people going after you? Like, it's really weird. While your guy is standing right there, it's very strange.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But maybe it happens, like you said. I'm not a woman too. Maybe it happens like a ton. My wife has certainly never been like, "Hey, this is happening to me all the time." It's like, okay, let me know. Beat up somebody's dad. We're old now. But yeah, like I do think that idea of boxing men in is really detrimental. And if you truly care about guys like in your life, whether you're a man or a woman in this case, you got to give them that space to have that. Like, I think therapy is incredibly important. I really do. Especially for black men. Because we carry a lot of, just like black women, we carry a lot of trauma, generational trauma that fucks with us, like quite literally fucks with our health and everything else. You got to be able to have space to address those things. And if you have major things that you're holding, like, yeah, therapy's all right, man. Like, it's a good thing. I think it is.
And the interesting thing is, like, them growing, like, I can only imagine these guys that are in prison now. That's probably part of the reason why they're in jail. You're in prison,
yes,
because they had to grow up in certain ways. They couldn't show emotion, and they took that out, like, whether it be through violence or whatever. And then now they're in jail because, like, people wouldn't let them be who the fuck they were. Like, this guy, like, again, this guy, he's really into plays, but he couldn't show it. Like, he signed up for the fucking program because you were clearly interested, but then you're fronting like you didn't, like, you don't like the shit that they're doing. Like, the fuck? Like, that doesn't make any sense, right?
Like, bro, you were not voluntold to do this. Like, you
signed up, though. So you're here for a reason,
right? And it's
being an asshole.
Like, he's embarrassed to admit his or show his level of vulnerability around men already in the program. Like, nigga, they're in it, but like, it's so deeply programmed into, like, this movie. If you reverse the roles and made it all women, though they have those programs, right? Like, in real life, I don't think it fucking hits nearly as hard because of the level of blocks that men have up. Now, granted, it could be just from our perspective, right? Like, we're 3 dudes, so I get that. But I think in society, most people understand men have so many blocks up before you can get to who they truly are, right? Like it is. It's interesting. Like, and I think it's important to show these guys are just fundamentally capable of digging deep into themselves, but it takes a lot of time and effort. And I think a lot of people just don't realize, just because somebody has a hard exterior, especially like growing up in Baltimore, you leave the house with fucking armor on, like every day, like emotional armor. You just do. And then you talk to people and you're like, oh, you're in therapy? And like you kind of start peeling away all these layers. Like my brother is a prime example of that. Like he, on the outside, he seems like this super hard fucking dude, but I've known him, since he was 16. And like seeing what he is, we're the same age now, like seeing who he is now, it's like wildly different, dude, because he's like
very different.
Yeah. Like, dude,
what I remember from him in high school.
Yeah. Like, nigga, that's like a 180. He would not recognize, 16-year-old him would not recognize himself now. Right. And it's just, he's a dad, obviously, but he's done the work on himself. And it's beautiful to watch. Like, it really is. And just seeing that and like seeing somebody develop as an adult, especially as a man and a man of color like that in these positive ways, like, no, it's something to admire. But it's so fucked up that like the type of black dudes who make it into like the mainstream that America sees are the exact opposite of that. Of the like, they're the most like locked down person. Like you can never truly know them because there's all these layers of bullshit around them because society has dumped all of this shit onto them, whether they wanted it or not. Right. So it's just fascinating. We get a moment here of Divine I is on stage. He's doing his Hamlet shit, and he's still not very good at it at this point. And somebody walks behind him, right? And that's his blocking, right? Like that the person's supposed to walk behind him, and he just breaks character, and they start getting into this huge argument. And they're about to come to fucking blows and shit like that. Incidentally, both of these guys are former convicts who both went through this program. Like, so it's kind of interesting to see a moment of just these two guys, like really kind of going at it. Like these niggas are not really acting at all. And so they're about to fucking go at it and all this other stuff. And this is that scene where the black dude, he's another one of these, former convicts. And he's like, listen, man, like, I used to be consumed by the same type of fucking anger. You need to fucking relax. And then he tells the story of seeing somebody get their throat cut. And then that just like fucked him up to the point where he just like stopped wanting to be like that. And he's got like tears in his eyes and shit like that. And it's like, this is probably a real story. Like this is like very much a real story. And it just lends to Micah's point earlier. It just lends a level of authenticity that you just you can't get with actors. Like it's just really unbelievable. And by the way, he gets pissed about the walking behind you thing because in jail, that's the last thing you want is somebody to walk up on you.
You don't want somebody behind you because you got to keep your head on the fucking swivel.
Right.
Like we're in a theater program, dog. What you think I'm gonna do here in front of everybody? Right. But it's like you're just fucking programmed to this.
Exactly.
Jail is not for me.
Oh no.
Nah.
That's my nightmare scenario. Is that I end up like Divine G, accused of doing something I didn't do. And then I go crazy in jail. Because I'll be like, you gotta put me in solitary confinement. Like, please. I don't want to go to Gen Pop. I do not. Like I gotta punch a guard or something. Just put me in there. Like I'll take my chances with losing my mental state over getting stabbed 1,000 times. So I'm not that big. I'm very tall, I understand, but I'm not that big. Fuck you guys.
Jail will make like they give you three squares. You ain't got nothing but time. You'll get big.
Yeah. I look, I'll come out with that fucking jail pose. All upper body, tiny little legs. Like, nah, fuck that. I ain't squatting for nobody. Like, yeah, see? Gotta stay safe. And then they basically tell Divine Eye, they're like, look, you got to get used to people walking behind you. Like, you just got to act like it don't bother you. Like, we understand why you feel that way, but at the same time, like, you can't do that. So like we get a scene where you see like Divine G, he's just reading and he's like looking out the window. And he's got a clemency hearing coming up. And so he's kind of freaked out, right? Because he didn't do what he's in jail to do, or what he's in jail for. And so he's hoping that he can get out. And so he's sitting down and like he's just like not in a good mood. And Divine Eye comes up. Like, remember, Divine Eye is the thuggish dude who's like fuck everybody type of attitude. And now he's like taking an interest in Divine G. He's like, hey man, why aren't you up on the stage or whatever? He's like, all right, like I'm not acting today. And he starts asking him about his kids and all this other shit. And Divine G starts getting pissed. Like, why the fuck do you care about me? Like,
like, get out of my space, nigga.
Yeah. It's like, so is your job to be in my business today or some shit like that? And so then they start to have this kind of coming together. Because now Divine Eye is like really getting into it. And so he knows G is good at this shit. So he's like, yo, how do you remember your lines? And he goes, yeah, they're tricks. There's tricks to learning your lines. And so then you see the two of them working on and collaborating together and like figuring shit out. And it's kind of dope. Like you start to see like their roads are so divergent for so long, and then when they finally come together for a while, and then it kind of splits back apart. It's a nice way to do these two sort of main characters, like in a very cool way, without just building like bullshit conflict, which I appreciate it. So we see another scene where I is like they're trying to teach him how to walk on stage and like hold presence, right? And G is like, look, you need to come out there like you own this motherfucker, like you're the motherfucking king and all this other shit. And he kind of just speaks to him plainly in a way that he can understand, right? And so he's like, all right, fucking like go out there, like you the top shit. And he comes out there and he captures the room a little bit. And it's dope. Like it's a dope moment for him to like kind of own the scene. And you really start to see him sort of change. So yeah, I dug this. I really like this scene a lot. Micah, how afraid of jail are you on a scale of 1 to 1,000?
45 million, guys. I'm not going for jail.
This nigga's a bitch. Look at this.
Yep. I sure am. One of my cousins went to jail, and it changed him. Like he mellowed out, and he did the reverse. He got skinny, like he got real thin. And he didn't. I forgot what he did, but that's neither here nor there. And he was gone for a while, and when he came out, it just kind of mellowed him out, and he seems like a different person.
Like
no, I don't
years?
want to. Huh?
Years? Was he gone for years?
Yeah, he was gone for years. He was gone for like maybe 3-4 years.
Jesus.
And I don't know what he didn't do, whatever. But yeah, it changed him, and he wasn't the same guy. And I don't know if that's the point, right? Maybe.
I think so.
Oh, he does. Yeah, I mean, but he just tries to stay in the house now. He just stays, in his basement. He's a very different person. No, I am definitely afraid of it, and I am more afraid of it because of my sons, and I don't, parenting is difficult, and me being a slightly older father, I feel like I thought I would have had a little bit more of a, not experience per se, but like I've seen a little bit more of the world than like a younger person would. but at the same time, like, no, I really haven't, because of like how I was raised, right? Like, you know, I ain't no real nigga. You know, I've never been like, I don't know what real strife is. Like, I grew up in Pikesville.
Nah,
You know what I mean?
You really don't.
Right. I really don't. So, you know, it's, you know, that Chris Rock bit of like his only goal was to keep his daughter off the pole.
Yeah.
Like, mine is to keep my boys out of the clutches of the cops, yo. Like,
yeah,
like
no, it's a pretty good goal. It's a pretty good goal.
Like, that's it. And it's weird right now because like he loves like cops and firefighters and construction workers and police car. Wow. Like, all right.
It's like,
you can go ahead and wave to them. Go ahead and wave to them just so they know that you live around here, right? But like,
recognize your face.
Right.
What if he wanted to be a
5-year-old?
What if he wanted to be a cop?
That would be a failure on my part. I'd rather him go. I'd rather him go in the military than be a police officer. Because, like you said on numerous occasions, like, police don't really do anything. They're a deterrent, but they're not like proactive.
Nah, they're reactive.
You know,
no,
they're reactive.
It's not the minority.
And right. And look, it's part of the job, right? It's part of the job. They can't necessarily stop crime before it starts, but at the same time, they're reactive, but they don't want to be. They just want to hurry up and get the shit done so they can say they got something done.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true.
I don't know.
Yeah, when they start getting like when you're a cop and you have quotas that you have to hit, like,
right,
that seems like bad police work. That seems like a bad thing to have to set up for cops. Like, you have to set a quota for like tickets and shit that you give to people. Like, nigga, what? Huh?
Right.
Yeah.
Or else what? I don't get it. But anyway,
also like cops tend to take their job way too seriously. Like, way too seriously. Now, look, I know it's a serious job, right? I know it's a serious job, but like Eric Adams used to be a cop, right?
Yeah.
Like that dude,
Istanbul
like,
is the New York of Turkey. Or whatever the fuck you say.
New York is the Islamabad of, like, all right, yo, shut up.
Like, he's, you know, like it really is like a fraternity, man. And they
the fraternal order of police.
Right.
Right. Well, there you go. Yeah. And it's but they like they feel like they're like, I don't know, man. You just can't
feel like they're above the law.
They feel like they're above the law.
They are.
Yes.
Yeah.
They are.
Yes, because you give,
and to a certain
people, extent,
like, depending on where you are.
They are. You know, like, they're not there to enforce laws. They feel like everybody thinks they're the Punisher. Everybody thinks they're fucking, thank God, Judge Dredd is not a popular character in America. Because Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Yeah, they'd be like, this guy, this is what we need here. Like, no, it isn't. No. This is a bad analogy. Yeah, like, it's so funny. My daughter today, she was pretending to be a police officer. And she was like, she said something. She was like, yeah, I'm a police officer. She was riding her bike around. She's like, I'm a police officer. You probably think I'm going to just go get some donuts. I was like, wait, what did you say? And she was like, donuts. So I'm like, okay.
What?
I was like,
my son did that once.
I was like, I got to stop talking out loud. Like, what the fuck? I got to stop saying shit out loud. This is a real problem.
My son did that once, but he did it because he saw 2 police cars and Dunkin' Donuts and was like, oh, hey, that's what they do.
They like donuts.
They get donuts.
But they do, though. Like, at the same time, like, but who don't like donuts? What kind of anti-American asshole doesn't?
That's really funny.
Yeah, she was like, you probably thought I was going to have donut. I was like, it's like, okay.
Like, where'd you hear that from?
Like, I mean, you're not wrong, but like, okay, all right. You are a fucking enigma. Like G is. Every day I learn something new. Like words. Okay, so then we see they're practicing. We see Divine Eye deliver his Hamlet line, and it's damn good. I have to say, it was pretty dope. And he's doing it like walking around the circle of the other actors as they're sitting down. Yeah, he fucking nails it. He absolutely nailed it. And everybody is like, they're hugging him up, giving him fucking dap and shit like that. Like, yeah, dog, you fucking nailed that shit. And it's dope to just see that progression of that character. It's very cool. And it just also goes to show you, like, he can act for real. I mean, he's being himself in this, but also doing sort of stylized acting. He can deliver, like, quite seriously. So G told he took I's information and wrote up some information for his parole that was coming up. He was like, I took the liberty of looking into it and wrote up some shit for you to help you out. And he basically says, like, listen, when you go in front of the parole board, they're gonna ask you some questions or whatever. And then they give you an answer, like a packet with an answer in it. If it's really light, that means you're out. If it's a really thick packet, that means you're gonna stay. And you're not, basically they have a bunch of explanations as to why you're going to stay in jail. Then we see this really interesting conversation between Mike and Divine G. And it's basically like how he never got to, like, his parents or his grandparents were from the islands, and like he always wanted to go there, but he never had a chance to. And like how he got addicted to drugs and everything else, and which is why he was in jail. And like he wishes that didn't happen to him because it kind of fucked up his whole life, and he would have been able to do some other great things and stuff like that. But shit just went left. And then the next day you find out he died. He had a brain aneurysm that night, and everybody is just fucked. Like everybody in the RTA program is just really fucking sad about it, and they miss him. And I mean, G is like catatonic basically as he's sitting there, like because it was like his best friend. I thought he had killed himself at first.
Right.
Yeah, I was like, Jesus, did he hang himself?
Even the guy was like, even when they were in there, it's like, yeah, I can understand you hanging yourself or offing yourself, but a brain aneurysm? What the fuck?
Yeah, that was
crazy.
that was definitely out of left field. I was not expecting that. So I comes up to him and he's like, "Hey man, like, do you need anything?" And like, I'm trying, just trying to help. You seem like you didn't talk in the circle or anything. And G just like fucking like kirks out on him. And he's like, "Look, I got to write this guy's family a bunch of letters and everything else. Like, I don't want to fucking talk." Like that's how he deals with it. He just kind of shuts down. Then you see G talking to his mom and saying how he's nervous and everything else about the clemency hearing. And he has a clemency hearing, and he does everything right. And they're like, "Oh, you're in this RTA program and everything else. Huh? Are you acting right now?"
Yeah, when she said that,
I
got so mad. Yeah, that was pretty much my attitude as well. Like, I was audible. I was like, "Motherfucker! Like, are you serious?"
Yeah, I did not see that coming. I was like, "Wow, you dirty bitch!" that was my feeling.
You're quite
like,
the actor,
come on, man.
And, like, he had a tape that somebody was basically confessing to doing the crime, but they're like, "Well, that person died, so we have no way to verify whether or not the authenticity of this tape. Like, it doesn't tell us anything." And so they basically threw the tape out. Like, his, skull.
Like, the person that died didn't have family members that could verify the voice. Like, something.
They don't. My guess is they don't have any notion of whether it was like said under duress or what I mean, like that sort of thing. So they're like, yeah, that's basically like, nah, it doesn't count. And so then she accuses him of acting, and and she's like, "All right, cool. All right, we're done. We're gonna we'll let you know.
Take it under consideration. Yeah, we'll let you know what happens.
And like his case had been worked on by the Innocence Project and everything else, and they still had never able to get him out. But he received some mail, and it's a nice big thick packet, which he already knows means that he's not getting out. Meanwhile, he goes to see Divine Eye, and he's got a nice thin packet because he's getting out of prison, thanks to G's work. And like he he's happy for him, but he's also jealous.
Like this nigga didn't even want to be in the play.
Right.
He ain't even
And
want
now
to
he get ready to leave. Hey,
Right.
What the fuck?
and he didn't even want to do the parole.
Right.
G is who did the parole,
Yeah.
which is like a double fucking insult, which is just fucking wild. Backstage on their dress rehearsal night, they're all fucking going through it and everything else. And at a certain point, G just flips the fuck out. And he's like, what the fuck is the point of all of this? This is all bullshit. Like basically, like fuck all of this. Like, and then he basically threatens to like get into a fight with some of the other actors, and he's like, yeah, we're just like right back at the start. Like none of this shit means anything. And he's crying, and he's fucking pissed off because his life seems like he's just gonna be stuck in here to the day he dies, right? And then he just walks off. He's like, nah, fuck all this. Fuck y'all. And so then we get a circle the next day of all the actors. And they're, like they're really upset with him, right? Like you're just going to walk off like the day or two or a week before the play. You're this major character. And they're pissed at him. And, rightfully so. And we see... go ahead, Michael.
This play doesn't look funny, guys.
No, I think it looks relatively ridiculous.
And they showed a fucking they showed a footage of the play at the end of it. I was like, okay.
My first thought was Terrence is gonna be like, this shit ain't funny at all. Like, this is not his brand of humor right here, and I generally will at least sit through something that's goofy like this, but when that guy as the Egyptian prince came up and said, I am the Prince of Egypt, my name is a lot in common, I was like, oh my god, I can't.
Yeah, I was like,
I can't. I can't.
Ha ha. He wrote it in a weekend. It was 140.
I know.
pages.
I'm just, and then Freddy Krueger.
Yeah, and also
Freddy Krueger popped up out of nowhere. Like, what? Why?
Okay. Sure.
For why?
So we do get a scene of everybody around the circle, and they bring in this other guy who's a graduate of the program, and he's out, and he comes in, and this guy, again, not a formal actor, right? Like this guy, this is a real dude, and he comes in and talks about all the benefits of being out now, and like washes his car, he gets his dog, just gets in the car and just drives, right? Like just having this level of freedom to live his life. And if you have not been able to pick up on these guys' humanity before then, which turn your phone off and look at the fucking screen, but if you hadn't gotten it before then, you really get it with this guy who's like coming to tell you tales of being out and like what it's like. And he's like, hey, can we do some of the practices and stuff like that to make me feel good? Like it's cool to kind of be back here. And so they do, which is kind of a wonderful moment. Then we see
his story. This is one of those situations where his story kind of, his dog. He had to put his dog down and shit. I'm like, That's super sad, man. Like, almost should have like this nigga, like this dog hating nigga.
Michael, this is the worst part of the movie.
Like,
Or actually, Mike
like, you do
No, it was the best part of the
Yeah, it's the
movie.
best
Just get rid of that goddamn dog. Get rid of that drain on society.
You know Donald Trump hates dogs also, Micah. You do know
Well,
that, right?
look,
you
a
don't you want to be
retarded
like Donald
clock is
Trump?
right. A retarded clock is right once a day.
He doesn't like any.
He
He
doesn't like animals.
No, he
I don't
doesn't.
like
Yeah,
animals.
Micah.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
like
why-
Well, neither
animals.
does he.
Yeah, that's
I
why
just
that
spent
eagle
I'm
was
just saying
hanging out.
Donald Trump also doesn't like animals.
I just spent
Weirdo.
$10,000 to put a fence around my property because I don't want the deer around there.
Yeah, well, deer are
Get out
different.
of here.
That's food. That's just
Not
that's
them
just
raggedy ass,
that's just venison.
raggedy
venison
ass
on
deer
four
that we
legs.
have. Nah, fuck animals. Get out of here. Don't like them.
It's so weird. That's
Yeah,
weird.
it is.
Nah, yo. Nah. All
Micah
right.
doesn't
Well,
like eagles or sharks or dogs, cats.
nope.
Anything.
Nope.
It's-
It's the smell, yo. It's the smell.
It's the
All right,
smell.
they all
Mr.
stink.
yeah,
Anderson.
Thank you, Agent Smith. I want to get
They
at it.
all stink. They all
Virus.
stink.
Inundated by it.
Oh,
Can't
shit.
stand it. That's my mistress. That's my Agent Smith. Anyway,
that was pretty good. So Divine I goes and sits next to Divine G out in the yard, and they're basically like, "Yo, knock the shit off, yo. Like, we're all here for you. Like, stop being a bitch, right?" He's using Micah's parenting style, and he's like, "Yo, stop being a bitch. Knock it off." And he's like, "Look," and G is like, "Look, I fucked up. You know, I don't know if I can come back." And he's like, "Look, we all love you. We're gonna take a vote. You know, we'll take you back, but on one condition." And he's like, "All right." He's like, "You gonna have to admit, maybe even in writing in front of everybody, that I fucking killed it on that fucking Hamlet line." And he was like, all right. And so he goes back, and everybody welcomes him back, of course. And I didn't mention this, but when they're having that whole conversation at one point where he's like, "I don't like being in dark corners or whatever. Yeah, you make a nigga nervous." He was like, he called him a nigga at one point. And G was like, "Look, we don't call each other nigga. Like, we just don't do that." He's like, "We call each other beloved." And so, gay. And see, I was being an asshole. That's a wild thing to call other dudes. Like, it just is that you're not dating. And so
look at you. Can't even.
I know. Look, I was
Goddamn
raised in the
shame.
90s. I know. It ain't right. It ain't right. It ain't right. I know. But in all seriousness, he's like, "Look, man," he's like, "You got to come back." You know, like, basically, like, you know, you did your thing, beloved. And so, like, they are now at the point where they met each other, and they were on two very different sort of extremes, right? Then they kind of came together, crossed paths, and then went the opposite, and now they're kind of back together, which is a dope kind of situation for the two main characters. I really enjoyed that. And so it's the night before their play. Everybody's all decked out. They go out there and they crush that shit, right? And you kind of flash forward to the play being over, and they show other. Say again.
Apparently, it's 1 year later.
Oh, okay, 1 year later, and they showed clips of other plays and stuff like that, like the rehabilitation through arts, like the real footage, which was dope. So then 1 year later, he gets he does get clemency. You see him holding the thin letter, and he walks out of the jail. And I got to tell you, I was not expecting this ending. Like
Neither was I. Neither was I.
I was like, oh, I was like, how is there nobody there to greet this nigga? Like, you just leaving this dude in like upstate New York or wherever the fuck this is? Like, come on, man. But he eventually walks around a corner and you see a car, and so I was like, oh, it's like his family or whatever. And no, it's Divine I is there to greet him. And look, you just get some like serious like dudes being vulnerable shit. Like, he hugs him, like, they're crying and everything else. It's like these are two real niggas that have been in fucking one of the hardest prisons in New York, but all of that shit falls away because they're like brothers at that point, right? And it's dope. It's a dope moment. And he's like, all right, come on, man, let's get in the car. He's like, how you like my new car or whatever? Because it's been a year since Divine Eye left, right? But he finally got out, and that was dope. Trying to turn their lives around, and the movie just ends with them driving, and G just looking out the window. He takes his glasses off and just enjoying the air, right? It's sort of the kind of a similar scene to the end of Shawshank Redemption, right? When Red and Andy meet up at the end, which was kind of dope. So, yeah, it's a pretty wonderful movie. It really was.
You know what else is kind of dope that I'm looking at on IMDb trivia? In an effort to ensure a livable wage, everyone was provided the same wage and offered an ownership stake in the film. To determine how equity was received, the movie was divided into 5 phases: development, prep, production, post-production, and promotion. For contributors such as a sound recordist on the film, equity would be collected through the production phase, whereas those involved with all stages, such as producer or star, will receive equity from all phases. So basically, they collectively own the film, and we're all paid at the same rate.
That's dope.
So what I'm saying is, if you want to stamp out communism, stop throwing niggas in jail. What you gonna do? Oh, now it's the meme of the guy pressing which button to press. Throw niggas in jail, or keep capitalism alive.
I don't know. How about we just make for-profit prisons and throw niggas in jail and make money? Yay! Surprise! Capitalism wins again.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Gotcha, bitch. Well, fuck me, right?
Yeah, we should probably ban that. Just saying.
Yeah,
that shouldn't be a thing.
It's a road that leads to just terrible results.
Yep. Pretty much.
Yeah, this country's fucked up. Capitalism is something else, man.
Yeah, I don't think people really realize for-profit prisons is a wild fucking idea. Hey, if you lock up enough people, you make more money. Gee, I wonder what they're gonna do. It's not hard to understand. It really isn't. But the movie is dedicated to the RTA members who made it home and those still inside, which I think is a lovely sentiment. Look, I mean, all in all, I think it's a great movie. I really do. No notes for me. The one thing I would say is just you gotta remember that just because these people are in jail, it doesn't mean they're less than human, man. And we often treat them as if they are. And that's a real problem, especially when they come out. With stuff programs like Ban the Box, where we're trying to give people a chance, a leg up so they can get back into the world. Right? People make mistakes. I mean, I'm not saying that everybody in jail should be let out tomorrow. I'm not saying that. No, some of y'all niggas need to be in there.
Some of them niggas be in there. Exactly. Some of them niggas deserve to be in prison. Yeah. But a lot don't. There's a whole lot that don't. And when they get locked up for when they get locked up for years, first of all, that fucks you over psychologically. It's just
100%.
Like you said, your cousin, he came out a completely different person. Secondly, they also become incredibly industrious. If they went in for something that wasn't super fucked up, somebody that went to prison, first of all, they're going to work really hard. You want hard workers, because they don't want to go back, and they have to figure out how to live in prison. They are fucking damn near geniuses in that motherfucker. By the time they leave, man, listen, I've seen prisoners, they be cooking.
Yeah, they make wine in jail, which is the fucking wildest shit of all time.
They be cooking without stoves,
chemical cooking. Yeah.
It's crazy, man. Give them a chance, man. Again, depending on what they did.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
So let's put it all into
He
context.
got locked up for stealing. I'm like, I don't trust you, nigga.
Yeah. Ain't nobody telling you to make sure you hire the Joker, right? Like,
right. But
But
most don't want to go back.
Yeah, like you can hire the guy who went in for selling weed, like or cocaine. Like they're probably going to be fine, right? Like you don't need to try to destroy their lives in and out of jail. Like the shit makes no sense. But it's a good film, and I think it's really smartly done. But I do think people have to start to recognize that just because somebody has gone to jail or is in jail, it doesn't make them less of a person. It really doesn't. I mean, again, it's a complicated issue. I'm not going to pretend it's not, but
yeah,
give a shit and care about people's humanity. Like we talk all the time about, treating others, the way you want to be treated, and doing good by people. But like people in prison are often left off of that conversation, like a lot. And prison reform is a real thing, and it's not something to be fucking slept on. So. All right. Well, that's all I have for this episode of 271. Do you guys have any other parting words?
Good movie.
Yeah,
all right.
Very good.
All right. So we'll be back with a preview episode for episode 272 next week. Later, guys.
See you.
You're watching the Black on Black Cinema YouTube channel. Make sure you check out our full reviews of Black movies, past and present. And every other week, we do a preview episode where we talk about a random topic that affects the Black community.